The wild buzzer beaters, the last second free throws, the heartbreaks. The NBA playoffs always go crazy. So here are the most ferocious ending moments in playoff history. And there's no better place to start than with, you probably didn't know this, but the iconic back-to-back-to-back titles Shaq and Kobe won with the Lakers almost never existed. During the run to the first of those titles during the 2000 NBA Western Conference Finals, the Portland Blazers came back from 3-1 down to force Game 7. And in that Game 7, they were up by 15 points almost 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. Brian Shaw came up clutch with some threes. Then Shaq had a clean jump hook. And then Kobe did his thing with a pair of foul shots and super jumpers. But the ending was the true gem. In the dying seconds, Kobe somehow knifed his way through the lane, drew Portland's defense to himself, and then floated the ball into the air for Shaq. And you know what's next. The big man thrashed a super dunk with one hand to take the Lakers to the NBA Finals, with the whole arena going freaking wild. Up next is a quick one for the youngins. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant, the Golden State Four. And what a time to be alive. They were completely unstoppable, and having just concluded a record 73-win regular season, they were going for back-to-back titles, and they almost got it. After Game 4, they led the Cavaliers 3-1, but then the Cavs came back and took it all the way to Game 7, and the ending that Game 7 had was crazy. It was really a battle of defenses from the start, and by the fourth quarter, with a couple of minutes left to go, the score was tied at 89. Andre Iguodala got a free run at the rim to give the Warriors what could have been a game-winning advantage, but somehow, LeBron pulled up an insane chase-down block. The score stayed tied until a minute later when Kyrie Irving made a divine three-point shot, and with seconds left to go, LeBron sealed the win with a free throw. Ferocious. But it doesn't come close to Kawhi Leonard scoring the first Game 7 buzzer beater in NBA history. A lot happened during the series leading up to Game 7, but what you need to know is that these two teams weren't letting the other catch a break. It was nonstop crazy all the way through. Kawhi was on fire, scoring 41 points, but he got chances to extend the Raptors' narrow lead and seal the win with less than 10 seconds to go, but he couldn't. Next thing we know, Jimmy Butler has tied the game for Philly. But Kawhi got his chance at redemption, and he didn't let it slide. Less than a second on the clock, the Raptors were behind by 1 point. And in that moment, something like slow motion happened. Kawhi hit a slick fall-away baseline jumper. The ball bounces off the rim, hits 2 more times, and then swoosh, it's in there. Game, set, match, Toronto, and they were heading to the conference finals. We might never see something crazier than this ever again, but this next playoff is going to be as close as it gets. It might not have been a finals, but Damian Lillard delivered the Blazers their first series win in about 14 seasons, and he did it in grand style. Portland was up 3-2 and just needed to win Game 6 to bag that dub. But it was looking tight. With about 0.9 seconds to go on the clock, they were behind by 2 points. And in the last breath of the game, Dame time was born. Dying seconds, Lillard looked in the inbound pass, squared up his shoulders, and sinks an insane three to give Portland the win. The Rip City crowd was literally out of control. That was really Damian Lillard stamping his name as a star postseason performer, clutch as it gets. Let's run back to the 80s real quick and check out this legendary moment. You might want to call your dad or your grandpa for this one, but I bet it'll bring back the chills for them. It was Game 5 in the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals between the Celtics and the Detroit Pistons. Larry Bird's Celtics were about to be edged out, and he just wasn't going to let that happen. So with about 5 seconds to go, Isaiah Thomas was about to release an inbound pass to Bill Lamire, but he made the big mistake of looking Lamire's way before passing the ball. Larry Bird read the play, and like the Flash, he darted into the path of the pass. Just like that, the commentator knew it was over for Detroit, and he shouted, "Stolen by Bird!" Next thing, Larry found Dennis Johnson up the floor with a crisp pass, and with that last second, DJ laid it in easily. The Celtics were Eastern champions for the fourth straight year, and although DJ made that winning shot, it was all about Bird stealing the ball. But that is perhaps just the second greatest steal in playoff history, behind this one from a dozen years before. Same setup really. Eastern Division Finals. The Celtics were behind 5 seconds to go in the game, and they were versus the 76ers. Literally everyone on the court were Hall of Famers, from Bill Russell to Wilt Chamberlain to Hal Greer and Casey Jones. But it was Havlicek quite literally stole the limelight. In what should have been a game-winning play for Philly, Hal Greer's lob pass got intercepted by Havlicek. With legendary Boston broadcaster Johnny Moss, Havlicek intercepted the deflected ball to his teammate Sam Jones, who dribbled out the rest of the regulation. It's all over. It's all over. In the same second, the Boston crowd ran onto the court and mobbed Havlicek, throwing him in the air for that emphatic steal. Everything went berserk after Havlicek's steal, but it's not nearly as poetic as. What is it about this game that just brings tears of excitement to your eyes? It's not just the fact that Michael Jordan's last shot for the Chicago Bulls was the deciding shot to win the 1998 NBA Finals against the Utah Jazz, but part of it has to do with MJ delivering himself his 6th championship ring. A bit has to do with MJ's theft from Karl Malone, the Bulls down by 1 with seconds to go. But it's not just that. The biggest part is how a 35-year-old Jordan crossed up a younger Brian Russell, had him stumbling over his 2 feet, and making the deciding shot before riding off into the sunset. Call it poetic justice or whatever, it was just perfect. That was MJ bowing out with grace. But this next dude, he could honestly care less about grace. Winning a game in the dying minutes is enough to make fans lose their minds. But doing it in the way Reggie Miller did in Game 1 of the 1995 Eastern Conference semifinals was as ferocious as it gets. The Knicks definitely thought they had a sealed game, 6 points ahead with 18.7 seconds to go. But the next thing, Miller hit 1-3 off an inbound pass to cut the Knicks' lead in half. Before they could come up with a plan to see the game out, he made a steal and sunk another 3. But he wasn't done just yet. John Starks could have won it for the Knicks, but he choked. In the last 5 seconds, Miller grabbed that rebound from a 10-foot clanker by Patrick Ewing, only to be fouled. With nerves of steel, he stepped to the line, knocked down both shots, taunted the Knicks fans, and brought Madison Square Gardens down. Miller, like most other dudes with the clutch moments on this list, wasn't an unlikely player to save the day, but this next guy, no one saw it coming. It's the 2010 NBA Finals. The Lakers have Kobe, Paul Gasol, and Derek Fisher on the floor. But when push came to shove, it was Metta World Peace who did the impossible. The Lakers were down by 13 points in the third quarter of Game 7, so Ron Artest stepped up with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 steals, and 1 assist. But the ferocious moment came. With just a minute to go, the Lakers were hanging on to a slim 3-point lead. Kobe came up against a double team, so he passed to Peace for a way out. And in a second that seemed like forever, Artest calmly hesitated, then launched a 3 from the right wing. Bang! At that moment, the Celtics knew it was over. And it was. Kobe, Gasol, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Rajon Rondo, all on the same floor. But Metta World Peace was the one to deliver the team that win. Only in the NBA playoffs. Can you think of any other ferocious moments in NBA history that we might have missed? Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel to get more awesome NBA videos in the future.